What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's actually a pretty big day and we're already starting to get reports on what is to come. So I want to bring that to you in just a minute. First, I just want to say welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and infrastructure update and daily news report for Wednesday, April 28th. Hopefully you're going to have a great day. If you are and plan to, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. So today, President Biden is going to give his first primetime address to a joint session of Congress. This is going to happen tonight. Okay, so if you want to stay tuned for that, I highly recommend you do. You might want to watch it. It might be interesting to see. But we are already getting updates on what President Biden is going to discuss. Now, we know he's going to talk about the successes of his $1.9 trillion stimulus package. We know that's already been, talked about as well. He's going to address COVID and how the Biden administration has already succeeded with over 200 million shots in the first 100 days. I believe the 100 days is actually tomorrow, so this is 99 days is tonight. So we will most likely hear President Biden go over his plans moving forward. But the biggest and the largest part of the speech tonight is supposed to surround the infrastructure plan. And what President Biden is trying to do is he's going to use this time to sell Congress on why his infrastructure plan is needed at this time. Now, we already know Republicans don't want to hear what President Biden has to say regarding his infrastructure plan because they do not support it. They say it's far too expensive and too big for what the country needs at this time. Republicans are only proposing about $600 to possibly $800 billion in additional infrastructure. However, President Biden has a total in mind of roughly $4 trillion. So you can see $600 billion, $4 trillion, about $3.4 trillion apart. That's going to be a difficult gap to try to narrow, but we will see what happens. Now, we do have information on what President Biden is going to unveil tonight in this infrastructure plan of roughly $1.8 trillion. But I first want to address the talks on stimulus because I know a lot of people have been asking about that over the last couple of days. Right now, okay, the IRS is still sending out stimulus payments. The IRS is still sending out not really the $1,400. Yes, there's some going out here and there because they missed them. And I addressed this yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to go watch either one of the videos I did yesterday, I highly recommend you go and do that. I'll link to both of those down in the description box below. But right now, the IRS is sending out millions of supplemental stimulus checks to the American people. If you don't know what a supplemental stimulus check is, this is for the millions of people that didn't get all of their stimulus money in 2020. For instance, let's say you had a child in 2020. First off, congratulations. But you wouldn't have received the $500 from the CARES Act or the $600 that former President Donald Trump passed in December. You wouldn't have received either one of those. Okay? So here's what you need to understand. What the IRS is doing is when you go and file your 2020 tax return, which hopefully a lot of you have already done that, when you file and they see, oh, well, you had a new child on this date, well, okay, great, we owe you, $500. We owe you $600. And so they'll send you that $1,100 in addition to the $2,000 they're going to send you for your child tax credit, which was the $2,000 per child for any child under the age of 17. That was for 2020. In 2021, that is where the child tax credit will actually balloon up to between $3,000 if it's a child between 6 and 17, or $3,600 if it's a child under the age of 5 or under. So that's what we know there. We also know some filers earned less money in 2020 than they did in 2019. And because of that, they may qualify for a larger stimulus check, or maybe they didn't even qualify for a stimulus check at all. So the IRS is going to send out those supplemental stimulus payments as well. So right now, the IRS is trying to figure out who they still owe money to based off of 2020. The good news is, though, if you were one of the lucky few that maybe made a little bit more money in 2020 than in 2019, you actually don't have to pay the money back. So if you're worried about oh, I don't want to file my taxes because I know I'm going to have to pay this money back. That's actually not true. The IRS has stated if they paid you, the money was supposed to go to you, and you didn't qualify for whatever reason based off 2020, that is perfectly fine. You can keep the money. So the IRS does want everybody to file their taxes as quickly as possible. They say that they could potentially have a refund check for you. You may qualify for additional stimulus, and you may get money back from the earned income tax credit, which is actually triple what it was in 2019, and the child tax credit of $2,000 per child. So there is money available to a lot of people. Now, in regards to the fourth stimulus check, and this is something that I knew was going to happen, but I just want to reiterate this. I wanted to be 100% clear. I didn't personally expect a fourth stimulus check to be included in any of the infrastructure talk at this time. I honestly didn't. I told you guys from the beginning that when we see a fourth stimulus check, even though lawmakers are pushing for it, it's not going to happen immediately. It's going to be one of those things that gets added to the end if it gets added. Okay? So I don't expect President Biden to come out tonight and include any talk about the fourth stimulus check in his speech. I just don't see that happening. I don't think he's going to do that because the priority has been and is going to continue to be on infrastructure, or according to social or real infrastructure, and then we got human infrastructure as well. We also know many experts are not expecting the negotiations to even begin on the infrastructure package for a little bit, because as of right now, they're trying to put together the plan. Some say we're already in the negotiation phase. I don't think we're there yet. They're trying to figure out the framework first. Then they're going to try to figure out how it's going to be paid for. And then we'll start negotiations. Once the negotiations start, then we're going to start to see different provisions get added in. We're going to see different pieces, Medicare, maybe stimulus checks, possibly unemployment. We're going to see all these different things get added in. And then we're going to see how many votes we have. Because what Democrats are looking at is, we don't have the votes in the Senate. We just don't have them yet. We don't have the 50 votes, so we have to keep reworking the plan in order to figure out how do we cater to all 50 Democrats. And then once we have those Democrats, then we can be like, okay, let's get this passed through the House. It should pass in the Senate, and then we should be good to go. But we'll see what happens. Now, here's what I expect. I expect the inclusion of the fourth stimulus check to be added once all parties are satisfied, or the majority of them are satisfied with the package. But we know progressives, they want to see more stimulus checks. They want to see a monthly stimulus check. We know Bernie Sanders is all for a monthly stimulus check. He's still fighting for the minimum wage increase as well. He wants to see expanded Medicare. So we will see there's a lot of stuff, and this is what is actually making things so complicated. And to even make things even more complicated, the fourth stimulus check will not be included into this bill if it is through a bipartisan, if we get bipartisan support on this from both Democrats and Republicans. According to Senator Joe Manchin, he will not vote in favor of this infrastructure package if it is passed through a budget reconciliation at this time. And he says this because he wants Democrats to work across the aisle and figure out a way to get Republican support. He says right now, with all the different pieces of legislation in the infrastructure package, which is technically not infrastructure, he says we need to get bipartisan support. And he would not vote in favor of it if they don't have that. It's going to be tough because to get 10 Republican votes at this time, after what Democrats did to Republicans just a little over a month ago, that's going to be tough. So we'll see what happens there. But there's a lot riding on the negotiation phase of this package. These are things like this could include additional stimulus checks, longer unemployment benefits. There's actually talks on possibly adding that in the infrastructure package or making changes to the unemployment insurance program. So we don't have a lot of updates there, but I promise I'll fill you in as we do. They want to see changes to Medicare, student loan forgiveness, minimum wage increases, and much more. That's just some of the things that Democrats are fighting for during this potential negotiation phase. But here's what we already know is included into the $1.8 trillion infrastructure package that President Biden will be unveiling tonight. Okay? We know there's going to be about $225 billion for child care. This is going to be big. Okay? This will be big, and this is going to go, as of right now, what we know is that there will be a child income cap that will be 7% of your yearly income. So this is actually, according to the White House, is going to save the average family roughly $15,000 per year on just childcare. $15,000 per year on childcare. That's a lot. That's over $1,000 per month just in childcare. So that's pretty big. But yeah, $225 billion to that. There's going to be about $225 billion to paid family leave. What they want to do is they want to be able to provide families with about $4,000 per month for up to, I believe, 12 weeks. Okay, so that's about 3 months. And so what we know is that is something that other countries offer. They offer paid family leave. However, here in the United States, that is on an employer-by-employer basis. And Democrats at this time say, no, this needs to be more on a federal level. Everybody should have that benefit because that should just be a right as you are a worker. We also know there's going to be about $200 billion for universal pre-K. This is actually for 3 and 4 year olds to give them free kind of preschool in a way, and try to get people into the education system a little bit sooner. What some are saying is that this is just a way to provide additional childcare to a certain group of people, 3 and 4 year olds. Possibly, we don't know, but starting school a little bit early, starting to become educated a little bit at an earlier age, it's been proven to be effective in other countries. So the United States is a little behind on that, but it looks like hopefully we're going to catch up. There's going to be about $200 to $300 billion for education. That's for like free community college and things like that. Also for universities as well, or for free public 4-year colleges as well. So that will be big. And about $400 billion to expand the child tax credit of $3,000 and $3,600 through the year 2025. So what we do know is many Democrats feel that this is going to be a big challenge. There's a lot of big promises in this proposal, but the worry right now is not, okay, do we have the votes? The worry at this point is, did we budget enough money to do all these things that we want? Some are saying that no. That Democrats did not budget enough money. The problem that they're going to see and the problem that they're going to face is the centrist Democrats are going to come out and say, no, we need to cut this, we need to modify this, we need to make changes here because we don't have the money to pay for it. Okay? Because that's what Republicans are going to do. You just wait for tomorrow, you wait till Friday, even over the weekend, we're going to get a bunch of reports that Republicans are going to bash this bill, this proposal from President Biden simply because he does not allocate enough money to pay for it, or how he's getting the money by taxing the rich and taxing the super wealthy. Republicans say they're not going to go for that. So we will know more, but as we know more, I promise I will fill you in on all the updates. We also know at this time, there has not been any dedicated money set aside to expand Medicare. And this is what some were saying, is that Democrats at this point, they want to see an expansion of Medicare, and they have already pretty much conceded that, okay, we can't get the qualifying age from 65 down to 50. Okay, how about 55? Nope, can't do that either. Well, how about 60? And this is where we're currently at, is Democrats are saying, okay, let's expand Medicare from 65 as the starting age to 60. And if we can do that, millions more will be eligible. It's going to save them a lot of money. It's going to help them get the actual benefits that they need, because there's a lot of people that are simply waiting to go to the doctor, waiting for certain procedures, waiting for certain medications because they're too expensive. They cannot afford it yet. So they're just going to wait until they turn 65. Well, if you're 61 and you got to wait 4 years to get the medication that you need today to just live, well, waiting 4 years, chances are you're not going to make it 4 years. And so that's where some Democrats say we need to provide more and we need to do it now. This proposal is supposed to cost about $1 trillion in actual spending, and the other $800 billion is supposed to come from credits. I don't know exactly how that's broken down yet, but we will find out more, and as I do, I promise I will fill you on all those details. President Biden does seek to make the earned income tax credit actually permanent. This was something that was mentioned a few times over the past couple of weeks, but this looks like this is something that he really wants to do. According to the Washington Post and the Biden administration, they actually want to see something done with unemployment insurance as well. We don't know exactly what the details are there. Some are saying that maybe it's not going to be an extension of the unemployment benefits and including, the pandemic unemployment assistance, the PUA or the PEUC. It might not have anything to do with those, but it could be geared towards the infrastructure, the system, because this is an infrastructure bill. What some reports are saying at this time is that we could potentially see, being that a lot of states lost money because of fraud and scams and just the unemployment issues, we could see the federal government give states the money to actually go and revamp their system. And if that's the case, then we could see the kind of the details on that roll out very soon. That would most likely slow down unemployment payments. But here's what we're hearing at this time is it would be okay to slow down unemployment payments if the unemployment insurance benefits pretty much expired for the 19 million people, and let's say only 20% of those people are getting payments. Let's say 4 million people in the United States are getting unemployment insurance. Well, if that's the case, what we're hearing at this time, again, whether it's right or wrong, is we could potentially live with just 20% of the American people or people on unemployment, the 4 million or so people, if they are a little bit behind in payments while we work on the systems, because that's going to speed it up in the future. Again, whether that's right or wrong, who knows? Maybe that's not the best idea, but that's kind of what we're hearing at this time. But again, as I know more there, I promise I will fill you in on all those details as well. Republicans are really pushing back. They say that as of right now, it is not a smart move to tax the rich and the super wealthy. That these are the people, these are the companies that are actually keeping the United States afloat. That it does not make sense to tax them more just to pay for the infrastructure bill that some people say is not needed. Now, we will get more information from Democrats probably later on today. Actually, I know we'll get more later on today, but we'll probably get a lot tomorrow and Friday as well. So I will keep you up to date on everything that we're hearing. But in other news, yesterday the CDC, they relaxed their mandates to require masks while outdoors in smaller groups. The CDC states that in a smaller group, it is now safe for fully vaccinated individuals to take off their masks if they are around other fully vaccinated individuals. Now, how do you know if somebody's fully vaccinated? Well, in a smaller group, it's easier to ask. In a large group, like a sporting event, it's impossible. So the CDC is saying that in sporting events and things like that, which is a larger group, outdoor venue, outdoor events, stuff like that, you just can't do it. You have to or should still wear a mask. So in less than 24 hours since the CDC changed this rule or guideline, we actually have many states that are already adopting this policy. So that is good news. They're moving forward very quickly. We also know that the Biden administration is launching its largest summer food program in U.S. history. This summer, the summer of 2021, we will see about 34 million kids receive $375 each to buy food. This will go on like a SNAP card, pandemic EBT card, something like that. The program, or this program, is so children can actually pay for food while their schools are closed over the summer. This amounts to about $3.35 per day per child. So if you have 3 children, you would get 3 times $375, or 3 times $5.35 per day. Children who were receiving free or reduced meals at their school will automatically be qualified. Okay, so you don't actually have to go and requalify or fill out an application. You would automatically get it, and the program would actually send you the payment or the card to your address. The Biden administration says that no child should go hungry, and this is just another one of their ways to provide and push for those hardest hit individuals. Because as of right now, children, are being affected negatively in a lot of ways. Some are more mental, other physical. Things like hunger obviously plays a big role in that as well. So this is what we know at this point, but as I know more, I promise I will come back and fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. If you can, go ahead, hit that like button. It does help out the channel. Subscribe so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.